Good evening, and welcome. Welcome to another episode of In This Space. Please remember that in this space, your voice matters. And if you want to be in this space, just DM me, and I will be excited to have you sitting here next to me. On Friday nights, I get so excited because I always have the opportunity to speak with someone. And tonight, this is not just any someone, this is someone very special tonight. So listen, I want you to share, like, support. So go ahead, hit the share button, bring somebody over to our Facebook page or to our YouTube page and join us this evening. My name is Apostle Dr. Alicia George, and I am going to be your host this evening. And without any further ado, I'm going to bring up this lady who's very special to my heart. But I'm warning you right now that she is just loaded with information. So be ready to listen. Come on up and join me, Dr. Linda Brandon. Good evening.
Hello, Dr. Alicia George. How are you doing?
I am awesome, and I'm even more awesome now that I can sit and speak with you. I've been looking forward to doing this for quite some time, and today is the day. So, listen, I know we talked just a little bit, and you were saying that where you are, the weather was bad, but I'm gonna make you jealous because out here in California, it is sunny, shiny, bright, and the weather is great. And I've had a great day today enjoying the weather.
I am jealous, of course, because for some reason it has decided to rain and thunder all of a sudden. So
Uh-huh.
I'm careful that this internet maintains its connection and we can flow smoothly during this conversation.
It will. It will. Listen, as every Friday night, I always let you know what I'm drinking tonight. I am drinking a cup of hot hibiscus tea. Hot hibiscus tea. And it's really good and it's really calming. So if any of you want to try something different, get yourself some hibiscus tea. So, Dr. Brandon, let's talk. Let's talk. Let's chat it up tonight. I never ask my guests for a bio because I believe that you could tell someone better about yourself than I can and a bio can. Can you just take a few minutes and introduce yourself to our listening audience tonight?
Hello, everyone. First, I want to say thank you for this opportunity to join you in this conversation. I am looking so forward to it and hoping that the Lord will impart something to the viewers that could help them move in their life intentionally. I am
Yeah.
Dr. Peter Baker Brandon. I'm a certified speaker. I am a transformational leader. I am an author and I am an entrepreneur. I help women who are dealing with trauma, who are dealing with confusion, who are dealing with a lack of clarity, who are transitioning on their job, move from chaos to clarity with courage and intention. And this is done through intentional reflections and a professional plan that will guide them to live their life intentionally with purpose.
Amen. Well, you're very intentional about what you do because you definitely know what you do and what you're called to do. So, Dr. Brandon, listen, I'm going to start with this. What do you consider yourself to be as a coach? I heard you say a couple of words like transformational. I heard you intentional. So, good evening. Thank you so much for joining us. Go ahead and share this out. I see that Rashonda has joined us. Thank you so much for being here. Hey, Minister Joyce, thank you for being here as well. Go ahead and invite someone to this broadcast because it's going to be live tonight. Listen, and so when you use those descriptive words, the one thing that I understand is that your intent is to bring transformation to your clients. So, what do you consider yourself to really be as a coach?
I consider myself to be a transformational coach who,
Transformational.
yes,
Okay.
transformational coach who leads as a catalyst for change to move you from where you are to where you need to be and where you desire to be. And that gap is a simple choice sometimes. It's making a decision that I want to do something different and I will do something different. So sometimes it takes a little pushing and
Uh-huh.
motivation to get people from where they are to where they desire to be by simply starting and making a decision to start.
I love that because if you know me and if you have followed me for a while, you will know that my coaching preface on that word start. Simply take another risk today. And some people are not willing to take the risk. And so, in order to start something and to go somewhere, you have to start the risk. You know, earlier today, I put something on Facebook like this. You people want to change, but they remain the same.
Yes.
You can't change if you're going to remain the same. So with transformation, I know that you have to, and you said it, you have to want, and it's got to be a will to do it. So that's awesome. Awesome, awesome. So let me ask you this. How long have you been a coach?
I have been a coach officially as a certified coach for 3 years, a certified coach. But prior to, because of my leadership roles, I have coached many professionals throughout the years in my leadership roles.
Okay. Well,
Mhm.
then awesome. That leads me into my next question then. Tell us about your background or your journey to becoming an entrepreneur and a coach.
Okay, when I think about my journey in life, all of us have faced so many challenges. We played so many roles in life, and there have been very many obstacles that could have defined our journey either to the left or to the right. You make a conscious decision whether you're going to live out the trauma or whether you're going to transform your life into something greater and walk in the purpose that God has designed for you. So, in this journey that I have undertaken, having roles as a chief financial officer, having roles as an educational adjunct professor, having roles as risk compliance officer, having roles in retail, I had learned that many times what I was doing was living out the expectations of others and not clearly
Mm.
identifying with who I am and what I wanted to become or what it is that I wanted to do. Traumas in life have you where you transform into what other people expect for you to do as opposed to what you desire to do. So we have a disconnection with who we are, with our own identity. We have a disconnection with our belonging, and we have a disconnection with our purpose. It doesn't mean we're not doing meaningful work. We're doing meaningful work, but it's outside of the pursuit of becoming who I desire to be because I had not yet identified. And so, hosting conferences throughout the years, attending conferences, and meeting with other women, what I identified is that many of us are in the same boat, the same scenario. We grew up with this fairy tale of life, and then we transition into a real life, and it looks nothing like the fairy tale. So what happened was that we started filling roles that other people expected for us to fill because we were trying to make an income. We're trying to please our husbands. We're trying to please
Mm.
other people. We don't want to be judged. We don't want to be criticized. And for some reason, as women, we do not want to be perceived as if we're ever wrong, knowing that life has many challenges where we're wrong. So in this process and talking with other women, I made a conscious decision that I wanted to coach other women along the way and give them some biblical directives. And I also wanted, since a young girl in ninth grade, I wanted to own my own boutique. I have
Uh-huh.
not manifested it to its fullest, and I wanted to be an entrepreneur, but I'm on that journey. I have an online website, which is Flawed but Unique, which is Flawed but Uniquely Designed LLC. So I'm manifesting my journey along the way daily because each day allows us an opportunity to
Yeah.
intentionally decide what it is that we want to do.
Wow. I told them it was going to be hot tonight, and you come in with the fire. You letting them know, and I'm hoping that you all are hearing and understanding because it is a journey. Hi, Jamila, Minister Jamila. Glory to God. Thank you for checking in. And there is a, I know I'm going to say your name incorrect, but it's Latori. Latori, thank you for coming in also. Listen, Dr. Brandon, you said a whole mouthful. And the thing of it is, that we as women have got to understand that the journey is not an overnight journey. There's a lot of factors, a lot of different things that will lead you through and to the end, the direction to get to the end of the journey that you were created for. You know, we've got to remember that as believers, that whatever we do, it is biblically sound. That we kill the scripture, Jeremiah 29 and 11. We
Yes.
say it over and over, but are we really understanding what it means? That He knows the plan. Because sometimes we try our own plan, and when our own plan don't work, we try to reroute again into plan B. And then when plan B doesn't work, we go to plan C. And then when plan C is not working, we like blaming everything and blaming everyone except ourselves. But you said a whole mouthful. We've got to settle ourselves in this day and age and take the experiences of our journey so that we can get to where it is God is calling us. So you've gone through all of these places in life, and here you are now as an entrepreneur. Let's talk about that a little bit.
Mhm.
You are the owner of Flawed but Uniquely Designed Boutique. Where did you get that name from?
That name came to me just sitting. I actually wrote it out in terms of myself. I'm flawed, but I'm uniquely designed. And
Mm,
so when I was younger, my sister gave me a piece of silverware jewelry. And I loved that jewelry. So I began to make pieces out of silverware. And a piece of silverware, a lot of times, it tarnishes, it turns colors. People discard it. People show up at the table and they want to eat. They're looking for the silverware. It goes through the hot water and it's always placed back at the table. And so, in that scenario, I thought about a woman. People always expect for us to show up, to be there. A lot of times we're discarded, we're never thought of. It's just like we're just here by happenstance, not knowing that others could not even exist without us. So, in that process, what I found out is that I'm flawed. There are many things in my past, there are many things that have transpired in my life, but they don't define me because God has uniquely designed me to be who I am. And I don't have to compare myself to others. I don't have to criticize another person in order for me to look good because I was uniquely designed by God. So there's no other perfection of me than me. So I don't have to
wow.
compare to someone else. I can be the unique design that God has created me to be. So I create the silverware jewelry, and this just happens to be a piece. And I always
Uh-huh.
use it as a pressure point, and the ring and this ring. If God places me at the table, He intended for me to be there.
Put
I
it up
should.
again. Put it up again so they can see it.
This is a silverware bracelet. I use it
Wow.
as a pressure point, and this is the ring. It's made
Uh-huh.
out of forks. I use it as a pressure point to remind me that I am created for greatness. And if God has placed me in the room, I'm to be there to represent my mom and my two grandmothers and all of the other women who never had a place at the table or who are going to have a place at the table. I cannot show up with the imposter syndrome. I have got to speak my voice,
Come on.
be who God has created me to be, because no one can deliver me the way that I deliver me.
Come
You may
on.
deliver you, but God gave me a different sound for a different audience than you.
That's so good. That's so good because He told us that we are fearfully and we are wonderfully made. Just how you handcrafted that bracelet and that ring. Listen, you made that out of forks, you said,
Yes.
and you created something beautiful. He made us out of this lump of clay, and he made us beautiful. And sometimes he's got to put us back on the potter's wheel to
Yes.
complete what it is. And I'm sure that there are times when you're making your jewelry, you have to go in and reshape things so that it come out with the vision that you have in mind. Oh, I love this tonight. I want to tap into this other thing also. You make these very unique ties. Tell us
Yes.
about that.
That is something that I created just based on what I saw on Facebook, and someone asked me to create a tie for them. I also create beaded jewelry. I do
Mhm.
soldering, make pendants, and just
Okay.
bead pendants. So I made these as well, the necklaces. So I
Yeah.
make a variety of jewelry, handmade, and I custom make a lot of people pieces for people as memorabilia pieces. Like if someone had a piece of silverware that was their grandmother's, I can transform it into something that they can keep for a lifetime. And when you were speaking about the transformation, that's all it is a transformation, taking something that God has created and transforming it into something new. And like you said, that's what he does for us daily. In spite of
Yeah.
our journey, what we've been through or what we go through, he's constantly transforming us. And it's up to us to not live in our past and to capture what's in front of us, our future.
Yes. Listen, all these beautiful pieces and these things that she's speaking about, you will see her website on the bottom below, flawedbutunique.com. You must go and visit. I'm telling you, I went on there one day and I was like, I got to get some of these pieces. I just have not gotten them yet because I'm all over the place. But she has absolutely awesome things, and I want you to go visit her website. Listen, I want to talk to you all about this oil, anointed oil collection, smear it on, that I am producing. I made oils years ago and I stopped. And then lately, someone requested me to make some oil for them, and it has continued to go. So, this is what I want to do tonight. I want to be able to give away a bottle of oil tonight. And this is what I'm going to ask you to do. See, these are the bottles, beautiful bottles. I have them in purple, pink, and I have them in a tan color. I have them in blue. I have them all in different colors. But tonight I want to give away one bottle. What I'm going to ask you to do tonight to get a bottle of my oil is I need you to go over to my IG page and I need you to follow me. And when I'm finished, the first person that I see that followed me between my broadcast, you, Dr. Linda, you cannot participate. So if you're not following me already, you cannot go. Go over there and follow me on my IG page. When I'm finished, I'm going to go over and see who is the first person that followed me during this broadcast. And I'm going to be sending you out a bottle of my oil. They come with the names of God: Jehovah Shalom. You all know that's the God of peace. Jehovah Jireh. You all know that. Jehovah Nisi. Come on. And they all smell awesome. They're made with fragrances like frankincense and myrrh. Come on, they're made with pure cassia. They're made with calamus. These are the things in Exodus 30 that God talked about with mixing anointing oil. So be the first one. I'm going to go and check, and I'll be happy to send you out a bottle. For those of you who want to know more information, just go to my DM and DM me, and I will let you know about my oils. Back to you, Dr. Linda. That was our commercial for tonight. We have one more commercial coming up, but let's get back to you. Then let's see. If you could tell someone right now and give them some advice to get them started with the life of an entrepreneur, what would you say to them?
I would say take the time to shadow up. And what I mean by that is find someone who's doing what it is that you desire to do
Great.
and
Mm-hmm.
learn the trade. I would also say to, as Proverbs says, acknowledge God in all your ways and he will direct your path, to make
Mm-hmm.
certain that this is aligned with what it is that you want to do. And don't chase money.
Ooh,
Make certain that you're chasing a desire that you have, because God opens doors for you and he'll make the provisions for you. Not you chase the money and then it will occur. So follow a dream, a passion that you have, something that
yeah.
you desire to do. That would be my advice that I would give to them, and follow someone who's doing what it is that you desire to do and learn to
That's
pray.
That's great advice because we have to understand a lot of times people think that a mentor finds them, but no, a mentee finds their mentor. And so if you find somebody that's doing what you want to do and enjoy, I have a mentor right now that I am really following and I've spoken to concerning doing podcasting because I want to get better at it. I want my show to get better. And so I have located someone that's doing what I want to do, and they're doing it awesomely. Speaking, I do healing from emotional enemies, but I want to take it to a different level. So I went on a search and I found a few people that are talking about healing and your emotions. And now I am, corresponding with them because listen, you don't know everything. And when you want to become one of the things that when you want to become an entrepreneur, you have to be prepared that there's going to be ups and there's going to be downs, and you're going to need a support system. And that's one of the things some of us we become loners. We don't do anything with anyone else because and we get so bent out of shape when it looks like someone is doing something similar to what you're doing. And
Right.
that's the person that you should be gleaming from because you can help them and they can help you. But the one thing I want to settle in on before you talk, and because I know your background, I want to just hit in this area if we can. Do you have any financial advice for someone? Because listen, I've been in business 6 years, and it was not until like around my fourth year that I really started to seriously take my accounting and bookkeeping seriously, realizing I wasn't doing a good job at it. And that I needed somebody who knew what they were doing. And I struggled for a whole year and a half. And it was not until 2025 that I found what I needed to help me keep things in order financially for my business.
Mhm. I would say make certain that after you've established your EIN numbers, that you go to the bank and set up a separate bank account for your
Mhm,
business. Keep
mhm.
all transactions separate. Maintain a box or get an electronic filing system so that you can capture all of your receipts, because you will need that at tax time.
Mhm.
If possible, everyone starts somewhere. Everyone has been a beginner. I don't care how advanced they become, they had to begin somewhere. So it's never, a lot of times we reflect on what other people are doing as opposed to starting where we are. And a lot of times we move past simple steps and we think that we can advance, not knowing the journey or the pathway that the other person traveled, and you didn't even witness it to get where they are. So you have to have yourself a financial advisor, or at least a tax accountant or CPA. A lot of times we cannot afford those things, but you have your AI there that could walk you through some simple steps just by
Yes.
keying in prompts. There's so much technology out there. You have your small business development center within your state. They host trainings on budgeting, financing, uh, funding that's available, grants that are available, so you can connect with them. And all of those resources are basically free. But a lot of
Yes.
we don't connect with
Eh,
what's available to us because of lack of knowledge. So I would say that for those of us who do have some knowledge, don't be afraid to share your knowledge. When you
mm,
see someone who's a beginner and they're struggling, so many times you hear people saying that, well, I had to work hard to get this. Well, you didn't do it on your own. You may have had to pull up a book, but God gave you the vision and the insight to even go to the book. So
yes.
I
Yes.
always say that God leads and guides us to the resources that we need. And if you could share information and not be fearful, because you have to be solid in who you are. Your
Mhm.
foundation has got to be solid. And there are just what, over 8 billion people, and the probability of us serving the same group, if we really get out and collaborate and we partner, it's not likely. Because
That's
just like you and I, we've never crossed each other in paths until the last couple of years. So all
right.
these years we've been dealing with so many different people. I don't know yours and you don't know mine. So there's a tribe out there, and then there's a new group out there for you. So just share the information, connect with your small business development, and make certain that you are maintaining accurate records, and don't haphazardly do it. Be intentional in doing it.
Yeah, because I was using, even before I found someone that helped me get myself together, I was using QuickBooks to try
Mm-hmm.
to keep things together because listen, that is not one of my strong points. And so I understood, but you said this, and I think this is so cute. If you can't do it electronically, grab yourself a box, a
Yeah.
bag, put all those receipts in there so that you have them when you need them. Why? Because it is necessary to have those things. And so that's really a good thing, because that's one of the places that we suffer. We, I have coached some people, and I have said something to them. Well, how much money did you make this month? Oh, well, I need to no, you should know. I know what I wanted to make. My girlfriend was laughing at me. I got to tell you, because I told her, this is my goal for May. And if I don't make this money in May, I quit. So she just said, oh, I said, I give up. But it's because you have to have a goal, but you have to know how to get to that goal. That's why sometimes it's interesting that we can do coaching, we can do products, we can do speaking, you can do writing. You've got to understand, but then you have to break it down. How much money? I know how many of these I want to sell within this month. I know what I want to make from coaching. I no longer just say, okay, I want to make $10,000 this month, but I know from that $10,000, 6,000 is from coaching, maybe 2,000 from my oils, or maybe whatever, because we have to have a plan. I know the plan that I have for you, but do you know the plan that you have to have for your business? And we wander around aimlessly, just doing things, you know, and not realizing that we have to put things in order, because God is a God of order. And how can we? I have learned a long time ago. I don't touch anything. I have had financial difficulties. I have gone through situations, but I have never stopped paying my tithes. I said, God, because if anything that is going, you're going to use and help me to get through these things, I'm paying my tithes. Listen, my girlfriend and I had this conversation because she was having some difficulties in her business. She says, the one thing, I'm going to keep a roof over my head, because if the electricity go out, I can light some candles. And I said, you're absolutely right. We have to put things in order and see things in their proper places. So, Dr. Brandon, I so appreciate you this evening. Let's talk and lean into a place where you excel. Let's talk a little bit about leadership. What is leadership?
Influence. It's
Mm,
basically influence. When we talk about business, we talk about finances, as we just spoke about, making a note that receipts do fade. So when you're keeping the receipts in the box, make certain
ooh,
that you know that they do fade, and you may not be able to see the information on it. So it's vitally important that you record as well. So that's just a note.
yes, that's a
That's
good tidbit.
just
Good tidbit, because that's the truth.
But
Yes.
leadership is about influence. It's not about always being out front. And it's about training other people to be leaders, succession planning. A good leader trains other leaders. If you're out, there should always be someone in the cycle of your succession planning that your absence is not missed. If your absence is missed, then there's something wrong with the leadership style. So
Mm,
leadership is influence. when you go places and you're meeting people, you may be the CEO, you may be the CFO, you may be the executive director, but you may not be the person with the influence. There may be another person on your team who has the influence. So you're rotating positions. They now become the leader of the conversation because they have the influence to persuade people to do what it is that you desire to have done as the leader. So it's a rotating and it's a reciprocal process with the leader. It's a person of influence, but also a person who listens. And as a leader, you have to make certain that you're not leading with empathy over leadership.
Sure.
A lot of times we say that empathy, you have to lead with empathy. But when you're running a business, there's some accountability measures and there's some responsibilities in place that people have to fulfill. I do understand that you have to show empathy, but you don't lead with the empathy, because what you will do is destroy your business, because everyone will come with a sad story and with excuses, but that does not produce the desired outcomes that you need for your business in leadership position. So you always lead from leadership, and then you reflect and have empathy for your employees.
Listen,
It is influence. That's influence.
that's a Selah moment right there, because there are so many leaders that they just see themselves. They don't see what it is they're leading or where they're going in leadership. And so I really appreciate the fact that you said that we cannot just lead out of empathy. We've got to lead out of leadership. I, I'm just wondering. I remember when I got the name for my business. I said, "Okay, God, you're telling me to start this business. What is going to be the name of the business?" And He said, "Boss Business Coaching." I said, "Oh, that's nice." He said, "But not because you're the boss, but because I am." And I stood still. So I've always tried to run this business with Him as the leader, that I'm listening to Him and I'm following His directions as I'm trying to be the boss. I just recently started something because I realized that most people who are bosses, that they are not building, and I've called it build the boss. You when you're building, you got to build other people so that they can boss up and become who God has called them to be, not just you being the boss and you're leading everything. So that was really good. That's a Selah moment right there for me. That's good. So let me just take a crack at this then. Are there good leaders and bad leaders?
Well, first of all, I think when I said lead from the leadership position, there's a vision and a mission that you're trying to accomplish.
Mm-hmm.
So every leader can make a good decision but have bad results. Or you can make a bad decision and have good results. It
Uh-huh.
depends on how you're managing that decision that you've made. Because a lot of times we make decisions and we do tunnel vision, and we don't take time to recalibrate and to redirect what we need to do. And that's why listening is so important. A lot of times we lead from the top, but the activity occurs on the front line that we're not connected to. So
Mm-hmm.
when the front line sees something, even though you may have a vision and a mission, you have to recalibrate so that that vision and mission can come to fruition based on what those on the front line know. So you're talking about connecting with your employees. You're talking about communicating with your employees so that if you made a bad decision, you can have good results because you have recalibrated and
Got it.
rethought and reevaluated what you
Yeah.
expected your outcomes to be. So you
Uh,
can have a bad decision or a good decision. People use personalities a lot of times to define their leader based on if I like you or if I don't like you, if we connect or if we don't connect. in business, you have to keep business up front. We're
Yes,
following vision and the mission.
yes,
Whether
yes,
it's
yes.
a good leader or not a good leader depends on the vision and the mission that we're trying to accomplish. I always say from the bottom looking up, there are some decisions at the top that you will never know about. And there's some explanations that we never hear. But we
Here.
are so judgmental from the bottom based on what we think we know.
Exactly. That's so good. Carolyn, thank you. That is excellent. Carolyn said, a good leader trains leaders.
Yes.
A good leader trains leaders. It goes back to what you said, succession. You've
Yes.
got to be able to train people that will be able to pick up where you left out. And one of the things that I'm really enjoy, I don't know if enjoying the word, but what I'm seeing now that I'm appreciating is in the body of Christ that there's more and more leaders who are becoming elderly that's really looking at what their successors are going to be, and some of them that are stepping away, that are saying, okay, my season is up for this, let me put the next person that I have trained, the next person that I know should be stepping in. Some of us stay too long in certain positions and certain places because we have not trained the other person to take our places. That's good. Thank you so much. Transformational leaders are incredibly important. That's a good point. Excellent. We got to lead by example a lot of times, and sometimes leaders forget that eyes are on them, watching them to see what they're doing so that they'll take the next step. I want to regress a little bit. I want to go back a little bit. I want to talk about actually what you do as far as your jewelry. So when you create your pieces, you said that you do a lot of things that may be specifically designed for someone. How
Mhm.
do you take someone's concept that they're telling you? Because I have something now that I saw that bracelet in mine. I'm like, I got to get on this. How do you take their concept and really tailor it and bring it to life for that person? Do you sketch? Or you is that the type of, or do you tell them send you a photograph? What is your process?
It's a combination of all of those things. I generally
Uh-huh.
have a conversation and I
Okay.
learn a little bit about them. What do they
Okay.
like? And sometimes I will meet with them to see their appearance and what type of jewelry they wear. Uh, what is some of their dialogue that they're having? What type of activities do they participate in? And from there, I just ask God to help me, to design something that they may like. And a lot of
Mhm.
times I'll design two different pieces because I try not to do two identical pieces. There, the flaws in the silverware. Silverware is tarnished a lot of times. Most of the time, the
Mhm.
pieces that I use, they are tarnished. I have to clean them, remove all the stains from them, and they have different dents on them and different scratches and
Wow.
bruises. And it makes me think, what cycle did they go through? Did someone scratch it with something? Did someone bite on it too hard? I just think
Wow.
about the transformation that it went through. And so when I'm speaking with people, I think about the transformation that they have gone through in life and what would be becoming for them in their
You
journey.
are incredible. See, I'm glad I'm having this conversation with you tonight because I mean, like I said, I went on your website. I see things. They're gorgeous. They're beautiful. But a lot of times we don't. You just like, don't forget, go over there and follow me, and you can get some people. This oil doesn't just go in a bottle. This oil is sorted. This oil is mixed. This oil is prayed over. This oil is I play gospel music when I'm doing it because I'm not just selling oil. The reason why I went back to this oil was because the person said, when I found out that I couldn't get your oil anymore, that's why I ordered 5 bottles from you. She said, because for the last 7 years, I was down to just this little bit of oil. And I realized how anointed the oil really was. It's just a symbol. but it is actually because I understand that God has given me an assignment in this season to create oil. So make sure you go over there. If you want to get a bottle, go over there. Now, one other thing, one more of you can get a bottle of oil. Go over to my YouTube page and subscribe. I'll check it, and whoever first went over there, they'll get a bottle of oil. So tonight I can give away 2 bottles of oil. Just go follow me on Instagram, go subscribe on YouTube, and I will be happy to send this out. Last commercial break of the evening. I want to invite you to come into my Healing from Emotional Enemy monthly meetup. I do this every month. I've been doing it for over a year and a half. And every second Monday, we have a conversation about something that God has laid on my heart. This May 11th is the next one, and the topic is going to be silent wounds speak the loudest. Silent wounds speak the loudest. So it's $21 a month to be a part of my discussion class. I invite you. There is a link that I am going to put in once I get off of here. You can sign up and you can come in on May the 11th and be a part of that discussion with the women that come into this room on Zoom. So back to you, Dr. Linda. I know that you recently retired. Is it okay to say that?
Yes.
Okay. So now that you've retired, what is your next step and your next move?
I actually retired, but I think I'm going to consider continue to do consulting work. So I
Okay.
help programs who are dealing with leadership, financial issues, and
Uh-huh.
other educational concerns. So
Yeah,
I
because
will
you're too
do
young.
that.
You're too young to just put all of that out. I know you're an entrepreneur, but all the wisdom that you have and all the guidance that you have, it's still necessary and needed. So I'm glad that you're not just hanging up the towel, but you'll do consulting work as you do your thing. It'll still be as an entrepreneur because it's consulting work.
Yes.
Yeah, I am just so fascinated with the many facets of you because you are not just another pretty face. We look at you all beautiful this evening, but there's so much wisdom that you have given us this evening. Hi, Minister Yvette, thank you for joining us this evening. I see you, Coach Ann. Thank you so very much. Carolyn, yes, she is absolutely amazing. And I am just so blessed that I have been able to get her and grab her to be on here with me this evening. So, listen, this is my final question for you. This is my final question. As an entrepreneur,
Mhm.
what advice do you have for someone who, right about now, may feel a little bit overwhelmed, may feel that they're not accomplishing what they want to accomplish as an entrepreneur, and they are at the point of peak, and they may say, "This is not for me. Maybe I should give up." And I don't want to do this anymore. Do you have any advice for someone that may be in that place or position right now? Because believe it or not, I've had some inboxes. Um, I what I mainly do now is I've pivoted. I really am here now with women that are 50 and over. That's who I coach. And I guess, as I told you, it's simply take another risk today because they're taking a risk. They've decided to retire. They're thinking about retirement, but they're too young like you. They don't want to throw in the towel. Listen, I'm 70 years old, okay? So I know what I'm talking about. And they don't want to hang up. They don't want to throw in the towel, and they want to do something else. And I am so blessed that God, as a vision coach, is still using me and still giving me vision for these women who I'm able to help them create a new platform. Okay. So, what advice do you have? Because some people feel like I can't go on, it ain't working. I didn't make my goal 3 months in a row. Is this really a business? All of this stuff is going on in their mind. What advice, if any, do you have for someone? Because I know God wants us, he says, let the young, older women teach the younger women. And so that's the premise I'm living on right now. I'm teaching them, trying to help them not to give up and not to throw in the towel. Because I've thrown in the towel a couple of times and he's thrown it right back at me. So what advice do you have?
I think about sometimes we have to realign and we have to reconnect with what it is that we're trying to do. And in that process, we have to be honest with ourselves and say, have we been consistent in what it is that we're trying to do? Or are we just doing a hobby? I thought
Mm.
about business owner. I guess in my one of my classes I took, it was called a hobo or a hoe or a bow is what it was called. A hobby owner or business owner. You
Hmm.
have your EIN number, you've registered with the Secretary of State, but it's just a hobby. There's no consistency, there's no plan written out. You have to write the plan, make it plain so that you can write the vision, make it plain so that you can run with it. So have they taken time to write out what the vision really is, or are they haphazardly doing it from day to day?
Hmm.
Are they going outside of their comfort zone to make connections and open up new collaborations and new partnerships? Or are we scrolling through the Facebook page, the YouTube, the Instagram, looking at what everyone else is doing and wasting time when we could be investing that time into the delivery of our own products? So
Yeah.
for myself, I had to do an analysis and determine whether I'm a business owner or a hobby owner. So,
Yes.
being a hobby owner, what I realize is that I make jewelry handmade. And to operate a business, I would have to be all things to everyone. So, am I at burnout? Because no product can be released unless I make it. So, therefore, if I don't make a product, I'm not going to get any revenue. So I have to be consistent in what it is that I'm doing, or I have to go back and realign my business that I open up other avenues and utilize some of my other skills. For example, I've written a book, Intentional. So I'm pulling
Yes.
revenue. I am doing workshops and trainings, pulling that revenue. I'm speaking different places and I'm coaching. So a lot of times we're relying on one source of income when our business can produce multiple streams of income. And we
Yes.
just need to go back and realign and recalibrate and maybe shift directions. And my word for this year is pivot. You know, I've had to pivot based on some changes that have happened because life happens to all of us. But how we digest it and how we choose to move with what has happened is our decision and our choice. And we have to make that choice. So I would say realign what it is that you're trying to do, rethink it, go back, rework the plans that you've written, and make certain that you are fulfilling and remaining consistent in the work that you're doing and you're not just haphazardly doing it.
That's awesome. Now let's just go there because I don't want to end without talking about that book, Intentional. Tell us a little bit about that particular book because I think you wrote a couple of other books, haven't you?
Yes, I have been
Yeah,
in several anthologies with Dr.
please.
Ziegler. 90
Yes.
the biblical affirmation, and I am an overcomer woman. And I've
Yeah.
also done a 12-month planner, and I have written the book Intentional.
Yes. So tell us about Intentional.
Intentional is dealing with my favorite saying is today is the best day that I have. I don't have yesterday anymore and I don't have tomorrow. So the book is really dealing with making a decision to move your life from chaos to clarity with courage and be intentional in the life that we live with purpose. So in this book, a lot of times we get caught in cycles, repeat cycles. and not
Hmm.
knowing what our next step is. And we are in places of procrastination, limited beliefs, career changes, misalignment. So, this book is a tool to guide you through intentional processes and reflections to help you move from where you are to where you desire to be.
Wow. So listen, you all, you can go on her website and you can get the book Intentional. You can also see all the beautiful things that she has laid out, the jewelry, the necklaces, the rings, the handcuffs, the bracelets, everything that Dr. Linda Brandon have. I want to encourage you to go on her website. So Dr. Linda, what is next? What are you doing next?
I have a this weekend. I have a speaking engagement in Detroit, Michigan, with Pearls and Pumps. It's an eighth annual women's brunch. Is actually sold out. I wish you all could join me. It's actually sold out, and I have several other speaking engagements that are coming up, along with some contractual work. So I will be doing this. Reanalysis and revamping based on me retiring of what is my next move, how do I align all of these things into my daily schedule and continue to live intentionally. So that book is also on Amazon.com. You can purchase
Okay.
it on
It's
Amazon.
on Amazon. Awesome. Well, listen, I want to say thank you so very much for being such an excellent source of information and conversation tonight because in this space, everything and everyone has a voice. This is the place where your voice matters. This is one of the many, many ways that you can get whatever it is that you're doing out. So if you have an interest in coming on this show, it's every Friday evening. It's at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Just go in my DM. I am Dr. Alicia Ali George on Facebook. Just DM me and let me know you'd like to come on my show. So tonight, thank you so very much for being who you are, sharing all of the information, spilling the tea, and letting us see exactly a other side of you that I did not know. So God bless you, and thank you again for being my guest this evening.
And thank you, Dr. Alicia, for allowing me the opportunity to share my story with others. I'm just so excited to be here and to meet so many different women on the platform has just been tremendous, a tremendous experience through their conversation through the chat. Thank you so
Yes,
much.
and this will not be your last time. God bless you.
God bless you too. Bye bye.
Bye bye. Listen, everyone, thank you so much for joining me this evening in this space. I'd like to extend a special invitation to you to come on back next Friday and invite someone to come and tune in with us. Listen, as my cousin Lorraine always says, have a great day today and a better one tomorrow. And I look forward to seeing you on the next broadcast. God bless.